Hey everyone, it's Brandon Grass with eXp Realty, and you're listening to the Brandon Grass Real Estate Team podcast. We are the local real estate experts you need when buying, selling, or relocating to the Kelowna area. If you are considering a move to the Kelowna area or planning a relocation to another province, then today's podcast is perfect for you. We are going to explore the top 10 questions to ask yourself when considering a relocation to a new city. Question number 1. Can I afford it? I'm sure this seems like an obvious thing to consider, but a move, especially a big one across provinces, can be overwhelming financially. Honestly, you just can't budget enough for the big move. No matter how much you plan for, last-minute expenses will probably crop up, and you want to make sure you have enough saved to move more than exceeded than what you think you'll need. No one needs stress like a flat tire as you're driving to your new city, but you spent every penny just to pay the movers or turn on the electricity at the new home. Question number 2, are there friends or family who live near my new location? If so, great. This will make it a much easier transition. But if you're not like most people relocating, then the answer is no. It can be a very isolating and lonely experiencing at first. If the thought of leaving your closest childhood friends makes your stomach queasy, this may not be the right time for a relocation. Question number 3, what is the job market like there? Most people already have a job lined up before they consider moving, but not everyone does. Do you know what the job market is like before you pack up all your worldly possessions and head out into the sunset? If not, you definitely need to do your research first, and really, unless you have a huge nest egg you can live on while you look for a job, it would be better to have one before you move. Is the job market expanding, or is the industry you're in dying in the new city? Be sure to research employers and see what the market is like, especially for them in the new city. Even cultures can vary for the same company in different locations. If possible, interview current employees to get their input. Question number 4, is it worth relocating for my job? This one has to do with, you guessed it, the cost of living. The cost of living varies from province to province and city to city. Be sure to research salary expectations for comparable positions wherever you are thinking of moving to. Actually knowing such information as how much local groceries are, average rent, mortgages, gas, taxes, etc. can help you negotiate the right salary to have the same living standard that you do before you move. Sometimes moving is the best thing for you financially because the cost of living is so much lower in the new city. But what if the opposite is true? Would you be willing to move if you were going to lose money? I recently covered a breakdown of the cost of living in Kelowna in a previous podcast that answers all of these questions on what you can expect the cost of living to be in Kelowna. Be sure to give that episode a listen next. Question number 5, when is the best time of year to move? This may seem like a silly thing to consider, but in different cities or housing markets, rent can actually fluctuate based on the time of year. Another consideration is the weather, where you are moving from versus where you are moving to. Are you moving in the middle of a blizzard season, for instance? Now here in the Okanagan, that's a very important consideration. Question number 6, what is the real estate market like in the new locations? And where are the good neighborhoods? If you're used to paying, say, $750 for rent, but the same type of place you live in now goes for $1,250 a month for rent, you definitely want to know that up front. If you really want to move, but you're used to living alone, would you be willing to get roommates? Would you need them in place before you moved, or could you look for them after? Do you know the new area at all to know where to stay away from, or do you need to research it first? If you know someone already in the new area, be sure to get their input about this. If not, consider finding a realtor in the new area to connect with. They can help direct you to whatever you are looking for. In addition, there are usually lots of companies who specifically help people relocate and can answer questions about where you are moving to. Use whoever you can that knows the area to figure out exactly where you want to land. It'll be a much better experience from the get-go. Question number 7, is the culture of the city a good fit for me? And could I actually be happy there? The same way when you choose a new home, you want to walk in and feel that it's home. You want to make sure the new city feels like home too. Different cities all have different vibes, and you want to make sure it's a good fit for you and your personality. Certainly you'll want to discover what the new city has to offer and decide if it's enough for you. If you like to bike and are used to riding your bike to work, moving to a new city with no bike paths is probably not going to make you happy. Are you a foodie or food snob? Does the new city offer variety in cuisine, and are you going to be happy with the food that's available? If you're interested in staying up to date on the latest Kelowna real estate information, be sure to sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Each week, we'll send you the best of our content, including market updates, expert insights, and featured properties. Sign up at greatkelownahomes.ca/email and look for the sign up form to join. Question number 8, what are my real reasons for making this move, and do they make sense? Are you moving for your spouse's job? Can you live with it once the decision is made? Is the move absolutely necessary, or are there other avenues you haven't explored yet? Question number 9, do I have a backup plan if things don't work out? Let's face it, not to be a Debbie Downer, but sometimes things don't work out like we think, and then we move and we're so excited about turns out to be a mistake. Perhaps the job isn't what you thought of, or a relationship changes. If that's the case, did you keep some money stashed to return home or find another place to live? Moving is certainly a big adventure, and you never want to give up too soon, since new places bring new relationships and new opportunities. But do you have enough to keep you going through the rough patch? Question number 10, what am I losing or gaining if I leave? Moving can feel like one big sacrifice, as our lives get completely turned upside down. Simply moving from one town to the next can leave you feeling excited, but to another province? Be sure to weigh all the pros and cons for you if you decided to move versus if you decided not to move. Take a few minutes to appreciate what you have where you are, and then allow yourself to dream of what you could have in another place. Goal setting is always a great idea to help too, and you will keep you on track when you decide now is a good time for you to move or not. I hope those 10 questions help you consider whether or not you should be making any kind of move anytime soon. Now, I know that many of you may be listening to this podcast while driving, walking, or at the gym. I do the same thing when I listen to other great podcasts. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram by sending me a DM at brandon.grass. And thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have never left us a review, I would be so honored if you would do that and just take 30 seconds to leave a review below. It helps more people in the podcast app see this podcast, and that is my goal this year, is to help more people buy, sell, and relocate in the Kelowna area. Again, my name is Brandon Grass, and I sincerely hope you got a ton of value from this podcast. If you are considering moving to Kelowna and the surrounding areas, I would love to know how my team and I could help you. The Brandon Grass team offers a wide range of real estate and relocation services to make your move as smooth as possible. So feel free to contact us for more information, or if you have any questions or need assistance with planning your next move. My personal cell number is 250-212-5672, or email brandon@greatkelownahomes.ca. And be sure to visit us online at greatkelownahomes.ca or on any of your favorite social media platforms by just searching Brandon Grass. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast.